Hi guys, it's Lily,
And this is Clover.
and welcome back to
All the tea we cannot sip.
Clover. The internet is such a crazy place,
It is. It's big and scary.
and we don't even know how to get to the dark web.
Oh, I will never Google it because I feel like you automatically end up on a list if you do.
Oh yeah, and
Or I've heard just searching and going into dark web forums and stuff, they automatically, whoever's running it, grabs your IP address and they try to figure out who you are so they can use it against you.
that's really scary. But
It
we're not
is.
going to scary today. We're going to the wild, the outlandish, the WTF of the internet. When was the first time you ever realized that the internet was so crazy?
Ooh, wow. We are just diving right in there. Because, you and I are the generation, we saw the very beginning of the internet pretty much. I mean, I think it was being used in colleges and stuff before it became mainstream, but we were one of the first generations to play outside and still play on computers, right?
Yeah.
So I remember first getting on the internet for things like games and maybe random websites like the Beanie Babies website, Barbie.com. But the first time I remember having a WTF moment was Goatsy.
I have
Uh,
never heard of this.
I was shocked that you hadn't. Um, the neighbor's older brother showed us, or pretty much dared us to go to the website. I can't even remember what the website actually was. I feel like it was goat.se, but maybe I'm wrong about that. It might have been goatsy.cx, but it was just a website with one picture that popped up as soon as you clicked enter of a naked man bending over and stretching out his butthole with both hands.
Oh my gosh.
And I couldn't have been older than 11.
No, because I know how old you were when you lived in that house. That is
It
very
was
jarring.
shocking.
Yeah,
It was. And now it's like such an urban legend, and only a lot of people remember it, but you can find cakes in that shape. People are making wedding rings to look like that. You won't be able to look at two hands in a circle without seeing goats,
oh,
Um, but there's nothing illegal about it. He looked like he was enjoying himself, and um, power to him. He's famous.
oh, yeah. I mean, but at the end of the day, I don't think I'd want to be famous for that.
No, he had a gold wedding band on too in it.
Uh,
I don't know why that matters, but somehow it just makes it extra.
I know. I am definitely not one to kink shame anyone, but also there are things that are not things that are normal to me, so I'm going to react like they're not normal because they're not to me. But if somebody likes
Right.
that, more power to them.
And you can put it behind a paywall or a thing that pops up that says you must be 18 or older. I mean, you and
Yeah.
I figured out how to make pop-ups on our old blogs when we were teenagers. So there's no reason this person couldn't have hidden it a little bit.
No. But also, that was still, 5 years before we had blogs, and the internet was still pretty new. So having pop-ups to
True.
confirm age, they weren't really
That's very
around.
true. No, that's very true. There still aren't even laws everywhere that you have to. Um, some websites like Twitter and Blogger and stuff give you even YouTube give you the option of saying there's adult content, but really, if you're making a random pornographic website, the odds of you getting in trouble with it, as long as you're not advertising to children or selling it to children, You're not responsible for a kid getting on the internet and seeing it.
Yeah, and I feel like we were getting into chat rooms when they were first happening without any just entering a screen name and
It
no
was the
age.
Wild West.
It really was. And I mean, we had a lot of fun.
We did. Can I show you a censored picture of Goatsy just so you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, send it to my phone.
Okay, it's not the real. It's blocked. So our listeners who aren't watching the video, imagine a naked man bending over. You can see his beautiful gold wedding ring as he spreads his butt cheeks, but this version has a bottle of milk on his butthole, so you can't see anything.
Oh,
But it was
my,
very red. Imagine like a red tunnel.
and he looks, or at least his hands that I can see, look a lot older than I was picturing in my head.
Yes.
I was thinking of maybe somebody in their 20s. This man's hands look like he's in his 50s, 60s.
Mm-hmm. So
Ah,
there you go. I was definitely scarred for life. And it's not like you can run to your parents because you know you weren't supposed to be on there in the first place,
when somebody's daring you to.
right?
And it's not
Well,
like
what
we
was
had the
yours?
most supervision at all times. So we were
Right.
just looking at
Yeah.
whatever we wanted because somebody had told us or we found it and we were just there and we knew we weren't supposed to be there.
We did. I know it makes me, I look at kids who are in elementary school nowadays and I'm like, what are you doing on the internet that I don't know about?
Exactly. That's the scary
It's
part.
scary.
But I actually have a quick funny story about something that happened on the internet when it was still pretty new. Um, One time when pop-ups used to be really bad and they would be porn, one popped up and we had our computer in a family area and I tried to click out of it and I accidentally hit print. So I unplugged the printer and when my stepdad plugged the printer back in, at least 100 pages of porn printed out and he thought my brother did it and I let him believe that.
Oh no. Yeah, you didn't realize once he plugged it back in, it would just print it anyway.
Exactly.
Oh, was it color?
Yes,
Oh my God, the ink alone.
I know. And that's why I didn't. Ink is still expensive.
Did your brother get in trouble, or was your stepdad so embarrassed that he let it go?
He let it go. He, my
Oh,
brother was not in trouble. I mean, my stepdad grumbled under his breath, but
and
it was after
probably
the fact.
then he probably did you see your stepdad throw it away, or was he like, cool, free porn, I'm gonna put this under my side of the mattress?
I didn't see him throw it away, but I was there when it started printing.
I don't know if you ever encountered that like in your home or a friend's home, but what was it with parents in the 90s hiding their porn under their mattress?
Yeah,
It was like the go-to place.
it was under their
And I feel
mattress.
like when we found it, we weren't looking. We were looking for maybe like money that had gotten lost and other stuff and found way too much.
I remember you showing me your dad's under his mattress.
Oh, I probably did. I remember when I first found his stash because he had paid me to clean his room because he was a slob. He had like cans in his room and like hadn't made his bed and stuff. And I was taught to make hospital corners. I can make a bed like a military sergeant. So of course I lifted up the mattress to get the sheet on correctly, and that's when I found it. And I had never seen naked people besides myself and my grandma before, and that is not what I saw in the magazine. Thank God.
They
It
weren't looking
changed
at
me.
granny porn.
Oh God, that would be disgusting. I have like an embarrassing story that I might as well tell since we're on the subject. But speaking of porn and porn on the internet, it was getting bigger when we were younger, but back then a lot of people still were buying magazines and DVDs and VHSs and stuff. And I knew that my dad had like a couple porn VHSs. And when I was in high school, my brother was still in middle school. So there was this like 40-45 minutes where I would get home and he wasn't home from middle school yet. And my parent wasn't home from work. So, me being a horny teenager, I was like, cool, I'm gonna go home. I'm gonna grab my dad's porn and take it to my room and do my thing and then put it back before anyone gets home. So, I'm going upstairs thinking I have the house to myself. I go into my dad's room, and what do you think is in there?
Your dad.
Worse. It was my little brother who had left school early and he was masturbating to my dad's porn. I was I shocked and embarrassed. I left and went to my room and slammed to the door. And to this day, my brother has no idea that I was there to do the same thing.
I feel like there's nothing worse than seeing or hearing anybody in your family be sexual.
Oh,
It
oh,
automatically
that was
puts you
the
in a
one
bad
and
mood.
only time. What?
I said it just puts you in a bad mood.
Oh, thank God that was the one and only time I've seen or heard anything. Ugh, but it's burned in my memory forever.
You remember in high school when we would hang out at a friend's house and we would just get on like LimeWire and download random like outrageous porn clips?
Yes,
And
because she showed us stuff that's illegal, stuff I don't even want to say we've seen. Not kids, I'll say that.
no, nothing like that. But the one that always sticks in my head is like a whole man's head going into a vagina. And
Yes.
I don't know if that was CGI, but this was the early 2000s, mid 2000s. And
I
I
don't
don't
know.
think
It's
CGI,
possible it was real,
I think it was real because it gave her
especially if it was.
computer a horrid virus.
Hmm. Like I
It,
can kind of see how people get a fist in there, but your head?
it was like a bald man's head.
I remember that. I do
Yes,
remember that. That's so messed up.
I know.
And it
And
was always this same friend. We weren't doing that at our houses.
no,
And why did she always find the weirdest ones?
I know, not like the ones you would actually get some pleasure from, or we would get pleasure from.
Right. Not that we want to sit around with our girlfriends watching porn and getting horny. I guess if you watch porn with friends, it probably is because it's outrageous.
Yes, speaking of outrageous, I was going to bring up when I discovered the internet was such a crazy place is Two Girls,
Yes.
One Cup.
Classic.
I don't
Do
know.
you want to describe it for our listeners in
I
case they
have
haven't seen it?
I've only seen a very, very short snippet of twogirlsonecup.com. It was back in the day. It's probably gone because it was so outrageous. It was these women, two girls, that would defecate into a cup and then snowball it into each other's mouths. And I believe they continued to have sex while covered in feces, but I didn't get that far.
So the forever question is, was it real poop?
I do believe that it is illegal now
Mm-hmm.
to include porn that's on the internet, like on Pornhub. It is illegal to include poop. I don't think this was illegal in 2005.
Let's see. Two Girls, One Cup, according to Wikipedia, is the title of the trailer for Hungry Bitches, a scat pornographic movie produced by MFX Media. The trailer features two women defecating into a cup, taking turns eating the feces and throwing it up into each other's mouths.
That's even worse than snowballing it.
Oh, yeah. Oh, God. That reminds me of the time. You know, Snowball is the pastry, like,
Yeah,
they're
those
like
are good. The coconut, like,
chocolate covered in
yeah.
coconut. I remember me and my brother laughing about that in the grocery store, and my dad came up to us and said, "Ooh, snowballs! I love that." And or my brother said, "You want to do some snowballing, Dad?" And we were just cracking up.
Oh, ugh,
To
yes.
be
I
young
didn't know
again.
that it was actually a trailer for a movie.
It looks like the creator of it accepted a plea bargain and was sentenced to 3 years of unsupervised probation. What does that even mean, unsupervised probation? And forfeiture of $98,000 because he's made many disgusting
Un
porns.
Unsupervised probation, I will tell you, it is where you go and register at probation one time and then you don't get in trouble and you don't have to go back. But if you get in trouble, then you're in more trouble than if you were to just be in trouble. But you just have to go register that you're on probation and pay the fine. And then they keep track of you for 3 years, that guy said. And so he just can't get in trouble for 3 years.
And by that, that means just don't get caught, right? Nobody was checking up or anything.
No,
Interesting. It says that he claimed to have no idea his movies were illegal in the United States and that his movies often contained chocolate instead of feces to appease some of his actors who were willing to appear in scat movies but not actually eat fecal matter, which means that some of them did eat poop.
and I feel since he got convicted of the Two Girls, One Cup, that that was real.
It had to have been.
Because they have to
Yeah.
prove without a reasonable doubt that it was to convict him.
Well,
I think I would fact check me if I were the audience because I'm no legal expert.
crazy.
Ugh, the internet, it I feel like it used to be crazier, but it's still a pretty crazy place.
It is.
It's just more regulated. You have to find the
Mm-hmm.
crazy.
Well, and you don't have to look very hard.
No, but also there's so much shocking content out there that really you're not telling your friends about Goatsy.
You know what? You're so right. Like, what kind of things do we share nowadays that are crazy? I feel like now we might share like a crazy Karen
Yeah,
that we see a video of, or maybe a really funny TikTok.
or sometimes I take screenshots of people that are out of touch with reality.
Speaking of, we were gonna talk about some of the crazy people we see posting online, particularly things they're trying to sell or reviews that they leave.
Or things that they're trying to buy from other people and their
Oh,
haggling is terrible, or they go off on a tangent on why they should get it cheaper. I love reading those.
tell us more.
So I do have one that I picked up, and this one is for a sofa that is for sale for 30 euros. And the buyer messaged, "Is this available?" And then 2 minutes later, "Hello," with three question marks. And it says, "I'm late picking up my daughter now, and I need to know." And then that was all within 3 minutes that guy sent it. And the
Wow.
seller said, "Jesus, man, I'm sorry, it's been like 5 minutes. Yes, it's still available." And the potential buyer, said, "I was late picking up my daughter because of you. I demand a reduction in the price or I'm not taking it." And then the seller says, "I guess you're not taking it then. Tell your daughter I'm sorry you're her dad." And I just think the audacity of some people to expect somebody to answer you as soon as you send the message and then to blame them. and then demand a reduced price.
There's people like that in our real lives who are like that, who, if you don't answer right away, they're like blowing up your phone. If
I
I was the guy selling that couch, I would have said, yeah, it's still available. I'm so sorry for the inconvenience. You know what? You can come get it for free. I'm sorry, man, and give him a fake address.
I've seen ones like that too. Like somebody was like, I can get it cheaper at Sears, and they're like, okay, you can come pick it up, and then they give them the address for Sears.
Oh, that is so good. I
And
love
I'm
it.
just like, why do people think that you're entitled to anything anyone's giving away or
Right?
selling? Because the next one I was going to do is this woman sends a tattoo artist like a message that's asking what his rate is. He tells her it's $220 an hour, but he pretty much charges the piece. And she says she wants to get something big covered up on her leg, but that's out of her price range. And he gives her a couple other options of tattoo places in the area to look. I don't know these places because they're not in my area. And then she says, can't you cut me a deal? I am a single mom. And he says, I don't give a fuck if you run an orphanage, TBH. I see that a lot on the internet. But have you ever seen posts like that where people just use, I don't drive, so you have to bring it to me, or I'm a single
Yes.
mom, so I need a deal?
Or people just asking for it for free. And it's like, if the person didn't need or want to make some money off of it, they would have just donated it. They're trying to sell it for a reason. So why are
Yes,
their needs not as important as yours?
exactly. And you don't know that person's situation who's trying to sell it.
Right.
You can't say that they're also not a single parent or they're also not going through something hard. I just think the audacity
Hmm.
of some people, sometimes I think there's something wrong with me because I'll just be like, I don't understand how people think.
That doesn't mean something's wrong with you. There's a lot of people who have us shaking our heads nowadays. I do think people have become more entitled and uh, more self-centered. I don't think we think outside of ourselves as much as we should.
And I try to. I know nobody's perfect, but I don't surround myself by people that think that their situations are any worse than anyone else, so they're entitled to anything that somebody else has
Mm-hmm.
anymore. I guess I have had those people in my life, but the people I surround myself with now.
Mm-hmm. I agree.
What's out there? What's out there, Clover, that you've seen?
So one of my favorite things to make fun of, even if it's just in my own head, is when I come across crazy reviews online. Because, like most people, when I'm shopping online, I like to read the reviews so I'm not wasting my money. This review has like haunted me for years. I was looking for a couch, I think in 2017, and I wanted something, no, it must have been 2018 because that's when this review was posted. I was looking for something like mid-century modern and found this cool set that has like a three-seater sofa, a two-seater, and a nice chair. I'll post the pictures on our video, but for our viewers, just imagine like a simple, clean cut. It's dark brown faux leather with, simple wood armrests and legs. And I was reading the views, and this man, I will blur his face out and his name when I post it on our video, but he wrote a two-page review. I put it into pages and it was over 800 words. And he posted one, two, three, four, five, six, seven, 10 photos of the one couch he bought because you can buy the set separately. He just bought one love seat. But the reason it's haunted me is how bizarre the photos were. I'm gonna send you some right now so you can see what I'm talking about. Overlooking the fact that this review took him multiple days, because you can see from the pictures he's wearing two different shirts. It's possible he might have just had an outfit change. Um, but I noticed his walls are floor to ceiling bookcases that are overflowing. He has so many books that he has them stacked up just against the wall on one side. And his coffee table is also very interesting. It seems to be a nude woman kneeling forward and holding her arms out to hold the glass table, which I think is an interesting interior decorating choice. Tells me a lot about him and what's important to him. Books and naked servants.
I've
But
never
he's
seen
just
anything like that coffee table.
me either. But just the fact, I mean, in some of these pictures, you can barely see the sofa. Look at this one I'm sending you now. It's like in the background. The main focus is really the table, but he's just sitting there casually, one arm on the back of the sofa, legs crossed. In another one, he's sitting in front of the naked woman's table with his hands in his lap, leaning forward like he's really cool.
And he's wearing a different outfit. You're
He
right.
is. Yes, this took work. This took planning. He put a lot of thought into this review too. I won't even read it all, but he goes on and on about how the color wasn't what he was expected, but what a great deal it is, and how it's large enough for three people to sit on. But I have trouble believing he even has two friends, if I'm being honest. He lets us know that he's 5'6" and 140 pounds. It's lower than his wooden coffee table, as shown in the picture. Do not buy pillows. That's hideous. Always leave things in their original condition, as plain and simple as possible. In my world, everything is black and white. That's the color of conviction or confidence. I'm not making that up. So, yeah, I just think of this sometimes and laugh to myself at how some people think people really care. He really thought, as I'm searching for a couch, that this was going to help me. And it did. It helped me laugh. It makes me worried
But
for him.
why would he need to put his height and weight
Exact. I mean, I
and
guess to show that it fit him.
two staged pictures of him that look like they could be on a Plenty of Fish profile?
That's what I was thinking. These are maybe double dipping. It's like I'm gonna write a 2-page review and I'm gonna update my dating profile with these pictures. But the table is so creepy. I mean, she's naked. She's naked, sitting on a bronze pillow, holding this poor glass table for eternity. So
Oh,
yeah, that's my first crazy review.
okay.
Anything else on your end?
Have you ever seen any reviews for sugar-free gummy bears?
Actually, yes.
They are so funny. This one is from Amazon and it says it's a 1-star review and it says just don't unless it's a gift for someone you hate. And it goes on about a gummy bear cleanse because I guess if you can't substitute or if you cannot tolerate sugar substitute, it will run havoc on your colon.
Have you ever tried the sugar-free gummy bears?
No, because I don't like sugar-free things.
They taste good. You honestly can't tell much of a difference, but I can tell you from experience that those reviews are not lying. And you don't even have to have a lot. Like you'd think it was people who ate half the bag and had
And
problems.
this is for a 5-pound bag.
Yeah, I only had like 10 or 12 sugar-free gummy bears, and it was a pain like I've never had from food before because not only does it give you the runs, but something about the fake sugars they use also causes like gas to form. So my colon and my stomach felt so tight, and it just turns
Oh,
everything in your stomach into diarrhea.
that is so scary because I wonder what's different about sugar-free gummy bears than like sugar-free gum.
Xylitol and erythritol. Some people just have really bad reactions to them, and I'm one of them apparently.
Oh, now I want to try it, but I kind of don't.
Do it on a Friday. when you think,
I
because
know.
it will clean you out. Like my husband, he likes that feeling. He likes like eating the sugar-free candy and then shitting it all out because he said he
I
feels
get,
all cleared.
yeah, I was gonna say I get feeling the cleared part, but have you ever had stomach cramps so bad that you're like, I have to go to the hospital
Yeah,
and
doubled
they're
over
gonna
in
tell me
pain.
it's shit.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
And I'm like, I can't do this again because
Mm.
the one and only time I ever ate Chipotle, I thought I was gonna have to go to the hospital, and I'm like, I'm not going because of a damn burrito.
Right? I always thought that was fake. I tried Chipotle for the first time last year, and sure as shit, we hadn't even left yet, and my stomach was hurting.
Yeah, I've only had it one time, but I can't eat a lot of Mexican food anyway. Even authentic from a good Mexican restaurant has to be very. I think last time I got taquitos and it was literally just ground beef rolled in fried in tortilla and I could handle that, but anything with any spice, I cannot.
I do think um we might have like because I have something similar. The last time we went to a Mexican restaurant, we were sitting there eating. It was over the summer. We were sitting there eating, and I had to go to the bathroom while we were still eating because I was going to shit my pants. And that's never happened to me before. But I think it has something to do with chili powder. I think maybe we just have like not an allergy, but an intolerance to it.
Yeah, or yeah, sensitivity. But is
Mm-hmm.
there a difference between the I think there would be, and this may sound ignorant because I don't know. Is there a difference between the chilies that they use in Mexican cooking opposed to Asian cuisine like Korean or Thai? Because I can eat Asian food and it doesn't mess with me. So it has to be some specific type of chili.
It must be. I'm trying to, it looks like there's a bunch of different kinds of Mexican chilies, but most of none of them almost look like the ones that I normally see in Asian food. Like the
Yes.
small red chili peppers are usually the ones I see, but it looks like,
Like Szechuan peppers, I think they are.
yeah. So maybe it's chipotle peppers. I know those are used a lot. Maybe that's why does Chipotle use chipotle peppers? Maybe a lot of people have an intolerance.
Or maybe you have to build up like an
Yeah,
intolerance or
yeah.
something. But I don't know. I honestly thought I was going to have to go to the emergency room.
Oh
And I
no.
just had to. So I don't like that pain, like from the gummy bears. I don't think I could just because I would know, like, I'm just going to, it's going to hurt.
Yes, yeah, don't do it. But I never thought of giving it to my enemies. Oh man, that's genius.
You got a coworker you don't like, buy him some sugar-free gummy bears and just be like,
Mm-hmm.
oh, I accidentally bought sugar-free. I won't eat these because I'm allergic. Here.
Genius. I wouldn't, I'm bad at thinking of how to say things, but that's perfect. Love
Or
it.
that somebody bought, like, say, oh, my husband picked these up and I won't eat them because I need all the sugar, because I do need all the sugar.
Man, I can think of a few people. But with a
Yeah,
5-gallon bag, I can make plenty.
do them all at once. Just take them to work and put
But
them
if
in the break room
that's what I was thinking, put them in the bathroom, that'd be so messed up. Oh
and put them
man.
in like a normal gummy bear container.
Oh, that's probably illegal.
Probably.
Because, for allergy reasons, I would poison someone.
Oh, yeah. Well, if they're not in any container and somebody eats them on their own free will,
You would think with because if you go on Amazon and look up sugar-free gummy bears, it has hundreds of reviews. I can't believe people still buy it. I can't believe they're still allowed to sell it. But they sell a lot of stupid stuff on the internet. I wanted to show you something I saw yesterday, actually, that is so asinine. I can't believe it exists. Sending it to you now. Saw this on Amazon. So with everybody trying to be organized in their homes and everybody wants a TikTok friendly fridge that you can open up and it looks organized and clean. Well, this popped up on my Amazon front page. For our listeners who aren't watching the video, imagine a metal tower that has a twisty ramp all the way down, almost like a Hot Wheel would slide down. It's to put your eggs in. The eggs are not covered. It looks pretty weak at the bottom. Like if your kid opens the fridge too quickly, they're all going to topple out and break. You
Well,
go ahead.
I do think that I don't know if this is true, but I heard with farm fresh eggs, you do not have to refrigerate them.
That's
Like
true.
if you have a chicken, so it could be on the counter because it does look like a paper towel holder with a water slide, like a metal open water slide going down of it. You know how it spirals down. So it could be for the counter, but I don't trust leaving my eggs on the counter, even if people say you can.
I've done it before because we do get eggs from people who we know who have chickens, but you can't wash them. Once you wash them, you're washing off that natural like membrane that protects it. And I don't know if
Oh.
everyone knows that. So I have left them out for like a week or two and still used them, but yeah, it feels weird because it's not how we're raised. It's not really part of our culture
And
because
we
most
didn't
of the
grow
eggs.
up in a place where people had chickens.
No, no, we didn't. We grew up in
So
a
we
very
didn't
big
have
city.
fresh eggs.
No,
But I leave my butter on the counter.
me too. I always have.
There are some people that think that's gross,
Mm-hmm.
but
Because it
I don't want
will
hard
go bad.
butter on trying my toast.
Yeah. Who wants cold butter? I agree.
But that,
I've never had mold or anything either, so I'm not worried about
no.
it.
But yeah, I could see, I feel like if you have eggs like this, you would definitely have children because you're feeding children. I don't see a single person having that many eggs. It
And
looks like it would be knocked over, even if it was on the counter. Definitely if it were in the fridge. And it would take up so much room.
that's what I'm thinking. I mean, and it looks so tall too. I would have to rearrange the shelves on my fridge to make that fit.
It would fit in one part of mine, but that's because of how it's arranged.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know, why don't people just do like what my in-laws do and they have bought eggs before and they save the cartons and then they buy eggs from people that they work with that have chickens and then just bring their own
Because
egg
it's not
cartons.
aesthetically pleasing. That's so this is supposed to look cool. I think that's what it's all about. It's also $30, by the way.
That is so expensive. I like some of the aesthetic things from TikTok, but
Mm-hmm.
I'm one, a lot of those containers that they put like laundry detergent in and fabric stuff, those leak. Those leak
Really?
bad. Yeah, the seal on them, they're not very expensive, but I have actually seen somebody post like that, like their wife did that and how they had to like put like a paper cup under it because it leaks.
Are you talking about like the kind that look like they hold drinks and have
Yeah,
the spout? Oh.
and I don't know if it's because it's a different consistency than, like a lemonade and it or if the chemicals eat away at the seal. Some of it's nice, but are you going to keep doing that to justify spending $1,000 at the Container Store?
Right. I do wish I had a super organized house like that. Some of my stuff is, but I'm not going to invest hundreds of dollars to get clear egg holders or I don't know. I it just seems wasteful to me.
And I
It's
feel
just
like
more plastic.
I was just about to say that it's not more like earth conscious because it is more plastic. And one, to make plastic, that's pollution. And two, if it breaks in a year, if it's not aesthetically pleasing, you're not going to keep it if
Mm-hmm.
that's why you bought it.
Right.
So I don't,
But maybe people
sometimes
know
I'm like,
something we don't, because this freaking egg spiral has almost 8,000 reviews on Amazon.
people are nuts. I feel like everything is, which is kind of the bad part about the internet and social media, is because you see how other people are living and you're like, oh, am I supposed to do that too? Am I supposed to want that? Am I supposed to show what I have
Mm-hmm.
to compare with other people? But I like seeing some things about how other people live, and some things I'm like, eh,
In a way, that's always been a phenomena of just being in a society. Like when our grandparents were growing up, it was keeping up with the Joneses, right? You knew which neighbor had a new car, or maybe they got the first TV in the neighborhood, or, first person you knew to get a cell phone. And so, in a way, people have always compared what they have to others, but it's just so much more in our face now.
but yeah, and easier because, you know, maybe you have a dozen families in your neighborhood or, in your area that you know well. And now you don't even have to know somebody very well to know their whole life story.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I have people I worked with years ago still on my social media, and I'm like, why would you post that?
Right. It's almost like you're weird
Yeah,
if you don't post about yourself online, and we have this pressure to show these perfect lives, these perfect moments.
I just see people posting, and I'm like, I know that's not how your life is.
Yeah, we're just getting glimpses, that's for sure.
And I think if you know that when you're on social media, it is healthier because you can say, because I post the good. I'm not,
Mhm.
I think people that post the bad need to reevaluate their posting
That's a good
because
point.
there's some things that you need to deal with.
And not run to the internet and, yeah,
Yes. And
blast.
yes, and blast other people, blast your ex, blast your
Hmm.
ex best friend. Those are things that I have dealt with personally and with people in my personal lives.
Hmm.
My Facebook friends do not need to see me talking bad about an ex friend
What do you think
because
is worse, when people run to the internet and call someone out, or when someone runs to the internet and just drops hints?
oh, that's a good one.
That's a
What do you
hard one.
think?
I don't know either.
I know because I can think of specific occasions where somebody will be like, "Oh, my ex-boyfriend fucked my ex-best friend," and I think that's really tacky.
Yeah.
And like screenshots of stuff like that, I'm just like, come on, have a little bit of self-respect for yourself, even though you didn't make those people cheat on you, but you are stooping to a level that
Yeah.
is lower than you by
Hmm.
posting that stuff. Because other people are always going to do what they're going to do, but it's how you react that will make people judge you. Because any person should not judge anyone for being cheated on or having a best friend betray them. But if they're going to go post screenshots to the internet, then they're just as wrong.
It's like a boundary, it's like an unwritten rule that's broken in that moment, and it's hard to get trust back, because maybe you will be calmer the next day and want to work things out with that person, and it's going to be a lot harder after you do that.
It's like that I already told my mom meme that it says, when people try to come back into your life after doing me wrong, sorry, I can't because I already told my mom what you did. And
Yeah.
that's how it is when you tell everyone how it is. It's going
Yeah,
to be
that's a good
harder to
point.
repair.
That's true. And you don't know how you're changing how other people are viewing the person you're talking about. Like maybe, especially when it's your significant other, like they say, don't take your relationship problems to the people you care about most, because those people are going to be on your side, and you might make up with your partner, but it's hard for your loved ones to forget bad things that have been done to you. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
exactly.
And some people really just do it for attention,
Oh yeah,
especially
these
the
people
hint
that I'm
droppers.
talking. Oh yeah, hint dropping is just as bad, I think. I don't think one's worse than the other. They're both bad because hint droppers are I want attention, but I'm not going to tell you straight out like I want you to ask me what's wrong.
Mm-hmm.
And that's just as bad.
Mm-hmm. And it's very
Like if you're
passive
going to do it,
aggressive.
just yes, if you're going to do it, just do it.
I agree. Oh man. So yeah, that was those were the two I wanted to share with you. I had some other funny reviews, but I think we should save those for another time. We can come up with more for sure.
Oh yeah, and the internet's a wild, wild west, and we could probably do another podcast on it eventually. We should probably give ourselves a little while before we do, but we'll definitely come back to the internet, the crazy, the good, the bad.
Well, this is a good place to take a break. So we will be back after a fun fact with Lily.
It's Fun Facts with Lily.
Today's fact is the first time the word period was used on TV in reference to menstruation was in 1985. It came during a Tampax commercial. Feeling cleaner is more comfortable. It can actually change the way you feel about your period. And Courtney Cox of Friends fame was the one in that commercial. All right,
Yes.
Clover, the internet, there are some great things to buy, to subscribe to.
We've been kind of dragging the internet a little bit today, but the internet is awesome. Like, I use it every day. I'm not going to stop. And we have found a lot of great apps, great websites, great services. So we did want to share some of ours today. One of my favorites is Canva, Canva.com. Canva is a program you can make all sorts of things, flyers, videos, things for your social media like banners, icons, posts. They've really grown over the years. They have a lot of free graphics and texts, even some audio that they've been adding. I think it's really great for anybody who needs to make materials for their work or their creative projects. Like I said, you can get a free account and there is a lot available. There are a lot of graphics and other services that cost money, but I pay $11.99 a month for my Canva subscription, and I think it's worth every penny. I use it every week, if not every day, for my work
I
and my personal life.
That is
Not
so fun.
sponsored.
Not sponsored. It is a really cool app. I have dabbled on it just a little bit, but it is really cool. There are so many different things you can do. I'm
Mm-hmm.
I'm thankful you showed me because you did.
Yeah. It's never been easier to be a content creator, in my opinion. I mean, when we were younger, remember our websites we had where we were making icons?
Yes. And like we used to know how to code. We were making GIFs. Like
Mm-hmm. Yep, we were teaching ourselves HTML and making our own websites. And back then there wasn't really a Google where you could find images that you could use. We had to make them. So you're
yeah.
welcome.
You're welcome. They're still out there somewhere, I'm sure.
I actually still I think I have some saved on one of my hard drives. So if I can find some of our icons, I will pull them up.
That would be cool just to see a blast from the past
Mm-hmm.
because it was a lot of fun.
What's one of your internet services that you love?
Something I recently started was Book of the Month Club. I There have been some months where I just I forget what they call it. Let me look. It's you can skip the month. And some like I have skipped a couple months when nothing really piques my interest, but they have had some really good books that I probably would not have found on Amazon. And they don't give you, I think there's like six choices each month, so I'm not overwhelmed how I can be sometimes with other apps where you
Mm-hmm.
can digitally download or purchase books because there's so many choices. And Book of the Month, it's just six choices. They break it down by category, thriller, fantasy, and you just read a little blurb about the book and you pick. Sometimes you don't like it, so you just skip and you're not charged for the next month. They do charge at a weird time before the first of the month. I don't know, that kind of gets me. So I usually always have a credit on there from either skipping or it's already charged me for the next month. But
Mm-hmm.
I do love having a new book come. It fulfills my need for wanting a package to come to my house for me. It's more fulfilling to read a book than to, get new cups for my house when I already have 45.
I haven't used Book of the Month Club, but if I remember correctly, I think sometimes books even come out exclusively on there before they're available at other places. Is that right?
Yes, because I had gotten a book, I can't remember which one, but it was a couple months ago and I found it on Amazon, but it was not released on Amazon yet because I was going to send you the
Oh,
link so you could check it out, but it it still had, a pre-release date. So I do think it is very cool that you can get books early from certain authors on Book
that
of the
is
Month.
cool. So when you sign up, did they ask you questions about like other books you liked or genres, or how do
No,
they make recommendations?
they recommend everybody the same six books.
Oh, okay.
So they have different categories. So it looks like they have literary fiction, fantasy, romance, historical fantasy, and young adult contemporary fiction, thriller, and they will pick six of those each month, one from each category. Sometimes some categories aren't always each month, but there's usually always a romance, a thriller, and usually a historical fiction.
What's the best book you've found on there?
The best book I have found is called The Family Game. It is by Catherine Steedman. It is so good. It's a thriller. I feel like thrillers are really on the up and up right now.
Mm-hmm.
They're super popular. But
I
this
love
one,
thrillers.
it had me hooked by the first, like the prologue had me hooked, and I just wanted to read more and more.
Oh, I love that. Very cool. I'll probably have to check that out because I'm always looking for new books. And again, this is not sponsored. It sounds like we're making a commercial, but this is just stuff we love that we wanted to
Yes,
share.
none of this is sponsored, I will
No.
tell you, but we love it enough to give it a shout out. And what is your next thing to give a shout out to?
I don't want to say that I was into AI art before it was cool, but I kind of was. And a website that I really had a lot of fun with this summer was Dolly, DALL/E. You can access it at openai.com. It is one of the first AI art creators that was made, and I was able to get into the beta testing. But even after I used the free credits they gave me, I bought my own. So, how it works is Dolly is this AI generator where you can type in a prompt and it will create art based on your prompt. So, I had a lot of fun using it. My favorite thing I did was I took excerpts from Harry Potter of the descriptions of the characters and I put those prompts in to see what kind of pictures the AI thought that the characters should look like. And some of the results were really cool. Like, um, I will send you a picture. You can really be specific. Like, you can say, I want a painting of a duck on top of the Space Needle in a thunderstorm in the style of Van Gogh. And it will make something that looks just like that. So the description I
Wow.
took of Snape, I wanted it to look like a photograph. So I said a portrait, HD photograph from the 1990s, since that's when Harry Potter took place. But the description from the books of Snape was a 31-year-old man with sallow skin and a hooked nose. He has greasy black hair and cold eyes. He wears a black cloak and has a sneer on his face. HD photograph from the 1990s. And it gives you like 6 results at a time. But most of all but one of Snape, they looked like Indian men. And I thought that was really fascinating.
That is.
And when I looked up sallow, it does mean like a kind of yellowish tint. But I will
Oh,
send you a couple of the ones it made of Snape because I thought those were really interesting. And I did it for all of the main characters. I really liked the ones of Hermione too. I'll send you that.
and is it free?
So when I signed up for the beta, I would get a certain amount of credits a month because each prompt you do is a credit. But then I bought more. Like you can get 115 credits for $15. So you get 115 prompts you can do
Oh,
for
wow.
$15. I thought that was pretty good because it is so much fun. And I've actually used it to make custom avatars for like my online profiles and stuff because no one else has it. It's not going to be a picture that someone else Googles and uses, right?
Yes, and I feel like you've done it for us before.
I did. Yep, I made one of
Yeah.
us. Right. So I'm sending you the one of Snape that I really liked.
Oh,
I'll send you
wow.
two actually. They look different. One looks like a person of color, maybe Indian or Pakistani,
Yeah.
which wouldn't be unheard of in England. And then the other one looks a little more like we imagine Snape, but what I like about how Dolly interpreted the descriptions is that Snape was so young. He was only in his 30s during the books. And I think we forget that because Alan Rickman was so much older in the movies.
Yes. I feel like a lot of them are supposed to be a lot younger, a lot of the
Mm-hmm.
adults in the Harry Potter, because Remus is also supposed to be
Right.
third in his 30s. They're all supposed to
Mm-hmm.
a lot of the
Yeah,
Order of the Phoenix, because I feel that even Molly and Arthur Weasley are supposed to be a little bit
a
younger than
little
they
bit.
are
Yeah,
portrayed in the books, because I know that they are a little bit older than Lily and James were, but I don't think they're quite as old as they're portrayed in the books.
I agree. And Lily and James were only 21 when they died. So Harry was one. Um, and I think with how the actors chosen in the movies are portrayed, I feel like the viewer can kind of get the false sense that the Potters had a longer life than they did,
Yeah, that is true. Because
which
when you're
is
looking
sad.
at people that are supposed to be their peers and their best friends or their enemies in their grade, and you see them so much older, you don't think that somebody's 21.
Mm-hmm.
You think they were probably about 40
Right.
because everyone's about 50.
Well, I think we should try it. So why don't you describe something to me and I'll type it into Dolly and we'll see what pops out.
Okay.
Just a second. I'm going to screen record so I can put this on our video version. If you are someone who's just listening to our podcasts, we try our best to describe the pictures and items we're looking at, but you can head on over to our YouTube and see the pictures for yourself. I will not post Goatsy or Two Girls, One Cup. I promise.
Thank you. Don't want to get kicked off the platform on only our third podcast.
Right. Okay, go for it, girl.
Okay, so I was thinking teenage girl, about 16, and with brown hair and a French braid that is sitting on a roof under a full moon.
Anything else?
No,
Do you want it like as a painting, as a photograph,
let's do it as a painting.
like an oil painting, watercolor?
Uh, I think we will do it as a watercolor painting.
Watercolor painting. All right. I'm generating and I will send it to you. God, it always blows my mind.
Oh, I really like that.
Isn't that cool? Which one do you like
Yes,
the most?
I like the third. Um, I like the girl in the fourth one. I like the moon in the third one.
Ooh, okay. So just to show you what it can do, I'm going to keep everything the same, but I'm going to do oil painting. And I'm going to do HD, so it's like really good quality. Oh, that's cool too.
Yeah, I think I like oil paintings more, but I think you have created me some watercolors that I really love.
Oh,
Uh, so these ones aren't that impressive because I think of yours.
thank
Um,
you.
but I do think it's very cool that, that's basically what I was thinking.
Is it really? I
Yeah,
do think the oil ones are really cool. I like this fourth one the best. So it
I,
looks like, do you want to
oh,
describe it?
yeah, so it's okay,
Like
so
exactly what you said.
yeah, it is. It's a teenage girl with braids. She has two French braids. She's looking out, and the moon is behind her, and you can see a chimney in the back so that she is sitting on the roof. It is very cool. I think I really like the second one also. Wow,
Yeah.
that is really cool.
Yeah. So, I mean, we can get into the pros and cons of AI generated art, and there are a lot of like ethical dilemmas with it. But for the most part, I just have a lot of fun creating things with it, and I'm excited to see where this technology is leading.
Yes, I think that's amazing. I want to get on it
Yeah.
and play
Well,
around.
I'll send you the link.
Okay.
What are your other ones that you love
Oh,
online?
online. Okay, so this is specific to my phone. I have an iPhone. I have a subscription to Apple Music. I love it. I
Ooh.
use it every day on my drive to work. And with I've had other subscriptions, to Pandora and others, but with Apple Music, I can literally just search the artist or the song that I want and it will play it for me. And then if I don't pick a next song, it will play a similar genre. So if you're similar to a playlist, on Spotify or Pandora, but
Hmm.
one, you can skip as many as you want if you're driving and, can't get to your phone. And two, we grew up in the age where illegal downloading, piracy was a big thing. At
Yes.
least this way, I can listen to, two or three songs off an album that I like and not have to pay for the whole album that I don't necessarily like, but the artist is still getting something.
That's a good
And
point.
yes, and I use it so much. I listen to everything from One Direction to Lil Wayne to Trixie Mattel. I've really been listening to a lot of like 2010 music, so I've been listening to a lot of Jason Derulo lately. So it's just so great because that would add up over time. If I just thought of a song
Yes.
that I liked and bought it for 99 cents or $1.99, realistically can't afford every song I want.
Mm-hmm.
And with Apple Music, I think we pay 16.99 a month because it is on the family sharing. So
Mm-hmm.
I'm able to share it with my husband and my son. I just love it.
I like that because you probably find new songs too that you weren't necessarily looking for. And just the variety, like you said, it would be very expensive to have to buy all of those albums or all of the individual songs, but you can change it up because you aren't the kind of person that listens to one kind of music.
No, I honestly could probably say I like at least one song from every genre.
That's awesome. I think me
Even
too.
country,
Mm-hmm.
we grew up in a time where they did make some good country.
Mm-hmm.
Um, Rap, pop, R&B, jazz, everything. There's at least one song I could listen to from every genre. So Apple Music is definitely worth it to me.
That's awesome.
And I've had it for a while, which is nice because I actually got a free couple months when I bought a new phone. So I just canceled my old subscription, put in the code for a new free trial for because they're giving you a free subscription because you got a new device. So it's not
Right.
like it's anything illegal
No, that's
or
cool.
shady, I guess. Not I don't know if it would ever be illegal, but it could be shady. But yeah. And do you have one more?
I do. It's not anything new or revolutionary, but I love TikTok. I love TikTok so much. I've always been a YouTube junkie, but with TikTok, I have learned so much, and it hasn't taken me long to learn it. I learned to knit this year from TikTok. I learned numerous recipes. I've found so many health tips. Nowadays, when I don't know how to do something, I go find a video on TikTok because I know I can find someone who's going to show me in less than 3 minutes. Whereas if I go to YouTube or Google, I just have to search longer and I might have to watch a longer video to get to the 5 minutes that I actually need. So I just wanted to praise TikTok.
Or watch an ad on YouTube that is
I
30
didn't think of
seconds.
that.
Uh, because I was trying to find an easy hair tutorial this morning because I've been wanting to do different stuff with my hair.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm like, I don't want to watch this ad. They were non-skippable ads, and I know I could pay for YouTube Premium. I haven't yet. I'm not there yet. I have so many subscriptions. So TikTok is so great because you can find, DIY. You can find inspirational help, you can find information about a wide variety of things like mental health or, you know, rights for different people on the sexuality spectrum.
Mm-hmm. You're right, because I follow a lot of therapists, and honestly, I've picked up a lot of good habits and good advice from TikTok as well. And
Yes, a
I'm
lot
in
of,
therapy, but
yeah,
it's just
a,
different perspectives.
a lot of good tools to use, like with, on top of therapy that, I wouldn't have necessarily thought of myself,
Mm-hmm.
especially with communicating. That's kind of hard for me. So I do follow quite a few, therapists on TikTok. And then you can, get deep in that. And then you can make something that makes you laugh, like Two Turn Tony. I just love that because anyone can make a TikTok, even if I don't get it and I scoff. I think there is somebody who will like it. People are so creative.
They are. I agree with that. I'm just amazed by the things people come up with sometimes in a good way. Like, I'm impressed.
I mean, as much as the internet is crazy and hateful, there are a lot of good resources and a lot of good people making content that will help someone.
Mm-hmm.
Something uplifting, even if it's just like, you matter. Somebody needs to hear that.
Yeah. Did you have another one?
My last one is very, very basic also. Amazon Prime.
Oh, yes. We love it, we
I
hate it.
I use it so much. Not even for just buying things, for streaming. I love streaming. There's
Mm-hmm.
so many things to watch. And then you can add on things on Paramount Plus or, even Freevee, which is like TV, but Freevee on Amazon. You can watch Forensic Files, and the ads are not even that long. You get like
Mm-hmm.
maybe a couple 8-second ads per episode. which is a lot better than Paramount Plus was with ads. I had to upgrade that plan because those ads were ridiculous. But I love Amazon,
I
and
do
it has
too.
gotten a little worse recently. The shipping situation is not good because I bought something last week that won't be here till next week. And it never used to be like that. But also, where am I going to find some of the things that I get off Amazon? You have gotten me a Lil Wayne Funko. That's not for sale around here. Like, I can't think it, like, sometimes you find cool ones in Target or Hot Topic, but it's not always you're going to find the one you're looking for.
hmm
I feel like when I'm in the store, I happen to come across one. And on Amazon, you can search for what you want and buy it. I bought my husband a Gollum rubber duck.
Really?
Yes,
Okay, I have to Google that, or I have to get on Amazon and look for that.
I can
But
send you the link. It is so cute. It is so cute. And
is it the one that looks kind of gray
yes,
and
he's
he's
holding
holding
a
the
fish.
fish?
Hmm.
Oh my God. It's cute and creepy.
It is kind of creepy because of the teeth, but that's Gollum.
Yep, it is. It looks just like him.
Yes, and where I don't go to the mall often. It's not that close, and there's not that many things I need to buy at the mall.
Mm-hmm.
But even where at the mall are you going to find that?
True. Oh my gosh, they have the whole crew as rubber ducks.
Yes.
That's so cool.
I want the Gandalf one is very expensive. Hasn't even been released yet, but I love Legolas. Gandalf the White would be, you know, I just need a Gandalf the White rubber duck. I don't know
Oh,
about you. And because I have Amazon, I can have one.
yeah, that's true. And I do like Amazon. Like when I need something, that is the first place I go to look because I love all the different options I can see and all the different reviews I can see. There's just so much diversity and choice. Um, I might spend an hour looking for one item on Amazon, but I am usually pretty happy with my purchases.
And I feel that, if you're at Target, you're going to pay list price for a book. I
Mm-hmm.
scan that barcode, add it to my Amazon cart
Mm-hmm.
right there because Target, Amazon, they're both big companies. It doesn't matter who I give my money to at that point.
Yeah,
If
you're
I'm
still
at a
hurting
small,
small businesses.
I know,
But I
but
mean, that I'm agreeing with you. Like Barnes and Noble and Amazon, I'm gonna go to Amazon first.
yes, and Barnes and Noble is even closing around where I am.
Are they? Oh, it's our
Yeah,
fault for
there's
buying
I
books on Amazon.
but I still do go to half price books. I love half price books.
hmm
I will always buy from half price books. I've been going there for as long as I can remember. There just aren't many bookstores around. I think, part of it was when the digital age came up, we started buying online and it kind of killed the brick and mortar store. And
Yeah,
now we're kind of stuck to buy at the brick, online if we want the things
yeah.
that we
They have
want.
us by the balls.
Yeah, because there aren't game stores like there used to be to buy, board games.
Speaking of buying books on Amazon, because Target and Barnes and Noble are super expensive, I buy the majority of my books off eBay. There's this certain store called Second Sale Books. They have millions of movies and books. I can usually find the ones I'm looking for, and they always have buy three, get one free, and nothing's over $5. So for 12 bucks, I can get four books.
Wow, that is good. I should check that out because I have bought some really good books on eBay.
I mean, they're used and they will tell you what condition they're in. And there have been a couple times where I didn't like the condition it was in when I got it, but that was very rare. Especially I go there looking for older books that aren't in print anymore.
And I think it's important to also buy books off eBay because they're not going to waste. They're not being thrown
hmm
away or recycled, which I think usually they're being thrown away,
I
not
hadn't thought of that.
recycled.
You're right. Yeah.
And so you're saving the planet a little bit and you're saving a book, that has a little extra life. Yeah, there's some books that are so worn that you need to recycle them, but most books are in readable condition.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I didn't think of it like that. I'm saving books from the landfill.
I saw this meme, I think, that was like, when I'm a ghost, I'm just gonna keep reading all the books I didn't get to read when I'm alive.
I love that. I hope so.
Uh, well, I think that's all we have time for this evening. It's getting late. I need to eat my dinner and wash my face.
I know. I need to take a shower. We get on and we talk too long, huh?
I don't think it's too long. I think it's a fun time, and I wouldn't rather be doing anything else right now.
I agree. I hope you guys feel like you're sitting with your best friends, shooting the breeze, and go rinse your eyes out if you Googled Goatsy and Two Girls, One Cup.
Yes, I, I don't even know if the original Two Girls, One Cup is still out there.
Oh, I'm
So
sure it is.
comment
Nothing
below
dies
if
on
it
the internet.
is, but I will not be Googling it.
All right. Well, thank you for listening.
To all the tea we cannot sip,
We'll see you next week.
bye bye.
Bye.